Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Here I am at the Temple of Sinawava, and today we're going to do one of the most iconic hikes in the country. It's in Zion National Park and it's called the Narrows, and this is the one where you go into the canyon and you're walking in the water actually. But I want to go over a couple of things before we head out there, and I'm also going to show you the orientation talk that I got when I rented the gear, and I'll tell you about the gear in a minute. But if you want to just go ahead and skip to the hike in the Narrows, I'll put a timestamp below and you can do that. But this is informational right now and just tell you about a couple of things, how it works, what you need to rent, the various logistics. First, let me talk about the kit. The kit is what I have on. It consists of the waders and the special shoes and the hiking staff. Keep in mind that if it's summertime and it's really hot, then you may not need the waders. You can just go in shorts and a t-shirt. But this time of year, it's actually really cold. It was 45 degrees this morning. I'm kind of cold right now, and the thought of getting in the water right now is a little bit daunting, but I plan to do it. The kit is available at a place called Zion Guru in the town of Springdale, and you can go in there, and they usually have plenty of these available. My cost was $71.30, and you just go down there and they fit you, they check your height, and that determines the waders, and then they check your shoe size, and they pick out the right shoes for you, and you try everything on. Then the hiking staff's supposed to be somewhere between your shoulders and your chin.
There's some big advantages to the e-bikes. One, the park is never closed to bikes, so if you have your own bike and you're staying at the campground, you can just leave whenever you want, right? And just lock your bike up there, and you can beat everyone and actually have yourself be alone up there. So that's the one big advantage if you guys take e-bikes, okay? The disadvantage is it's more expensive. Oh, the other huge advantage, you don't have to wait in the shuttle line, and that can get up to about an hour this time of year, okay? If you are not wanting to take the e-bikes, you can take the shuttle. The first shuttle leaves from the visitor center at 7 a.m. Okay, so you can go there. Parking was full at the visitor center, and the parking is free at the visitor center. It was full by 7 a.m. this morning. Okay, so I would recommend getting there at 6:30 if you want to take that shuttle. I would recommend going early this time of year just because there's going to be way less people. Those crowds are going to grow throughout the day. By 11, it'll be like Disney World. Okay. So I would say go early is probably your best bet this time of year. So that's kind of the logistics of getting to the Narrows. The next is what to bring. One of the first things I recommend bringing is I bring lunch. Bring snacks. There are lots of places you guys can have food and have snacks, and it will let you be in the Narrows for longer and enjoy it more to just sit down and enjoy a great meal. Just make sure whatever you bring in, you bring out. We want to keep the Narrows clean. The next thing is water. One of the major health concerns we have out there is dehydration because you can't drink the water in the Narrows. I would just bring probably about 1.5 liters maybe per person for your hike up there. Okay? The next thing is what to wear. So the water's a little cold, but the bibs will help keep you warm from that. The other thing to note is the air temperature is about 10 degrees cooler in the Narrows than it is down here. So when you leave this morning, whatever time you leave in the morning, usually by the time you get up there, it'll be somewhat similar temperature. So usually whatever you start with, maybe a light jacket is probably about right down here, probably right up there. But throughout the day, you're going to get warm and you're going to want to take off that jacket. And then you're probably going to want to put it back on once you stop. So I would recommend bringing a backpack and just dropping that layer or two, right? The more cold sensitive you are, you can do more layers. If you're cold sensitive, I would wear socks and pants. If you're not cold sensitive, you're fine in shorts and bare feet underneath the bibs. It's just kind of a personal preference. The last thing is the bathrooms. So there are no bathrooms in the Narrows. If it's an emergency, we ask that you do go number 1 in the river. So dilution is the solution, so it washes it out. If you need to go number 2, we sell wag bags, or if you drop off female products, you can put them in there. That'll let you carry it out. So that's everything getting to the Narrows. The next thing is when you arrive at the Narrows, you'll get to the Temple of Sinawava, right? The Temple of Sinawava is that's the last shuttle stop. And you'll have a mile of paved trails called the Riverside Walk. It's wheelchair accessible, super easy. There's some really cool things about this river trail though. So have you guys looked out and seen all the red rock out here? Okay, that red rock dates to the Jurassic time period, age of the dinosaurs. It's called Navajo sandstone. And when it rains, it sucks up water like a sponge. It's porous. So the water seeps into that rock. Have you guys seen the white part on top of the rock? That's sand colored. That's why, because it's actually pulling that iron down into the lower part. So that water travels in there for about 1,000 years, and when it gets to the Narrows, there's another layer of rock called Kayenta. It's older, it's mud. It's too dense for that white water to go through, so it pours out the side. So when you're walking on this, you'll see areas that are dripping wet, like it's been downpouring or raining. That's 1,000-year-old water, and what it allows is for things to grow in the Narrows that don't grow anywhere else on the planet. Okay? So you'll see some really cool vegetation, some really cool growth, some really neat things in the Narrows. Take a look around. And then as you get into the upper part, you'll get to the end of that walk. You'll walk right into the river, right? And that's where your journey adventure really starts to pick up. So as you're starting on that adventure, the first thing you're going to come across is in the first quarter mile, the deepest section in the lower part of your walk. It's about this deep. Okay. It's only for about here to the door, so once you're past that section, you might have to lift your backpack up. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to find what side is shallower, walk on that side as it starts to get deep, find where it's shallow, across the river, and then walk on that side and kind of zigzag back and forth like that. The river can be quite slippery, so we're going to give you guys each a stick to be your best friend. You want somewhere between your chest and your nose. And what we're going to do is we're going to cross the body, right? And this is, you don't have to walk like this all the time, but just when it gets slippery, jam it into a rock so you can drop your weight. And that way, if I slip, I have 2 points of contact to keep up. So I can step, move, and this will help you so you don't fall in. If you're walking like this and you slip, well, down you go and you'll get water in your bed. So you want to try to avoid that. Okay? After about 2 miles, you're going to reach what's called the confluence. Now, something about the Narrows is the Narrows doesn't have a singular scenic destination. The views are the entire way. So if you don't make it that far, don't need to fret. You're not here to see rivers with rocks in them, right? The views in the Narrows aren't at a certain point. They're always there, but they're above you. So when you're walking, look up and then turn around and look behind you, and that's where you get your views in the Narrows, right? And you'll see spectacular views, right? And so just keep going down. And at 2 miles in, you're going to get a change in scenery, and this is where you'll get to the confluence. It looks like this, where it says Empower, and this is where you get to make a choice. You can go straight or go to the right, okay? So once you get to this section right here, you're going to get 1,500-foot walls on either side, and those kind of hanging vegetation is going to disappear, and you're just going to be in a little tighter space. If you go to the right, this is what I would call the adventure path. That'll add about an hour round trip to your total time, and you're going to be having some big obstacles you have to kind of crawl over. You can go up to a little waterfall there called Vale Falls, and you have to turn around. To get to the confluence and back will take about 4 to 5 hours round trip for most groups. Okay. Now, you can keep going straight as well. Sometimes people will go a little bit, like 15 minutes further. You can see floating rocks, see a little bit more of Wall Street, that kind of tight section. You can go all the way up to Big Springs. If you see campgrounds, you've gone too far. That will take about 6 to 8 hours. It's a 10-mile round trip. Okay? So most people don't go anywhere near that far, but you're totally welcome. There will be some deeper sections about up to here. Last time I was up there, on the way up there. So just be aware of that.
Getting here, this Temple of Sinawava is at the end of what's called the Zion Canyon Scenic Drive. This drive is open to private cars only from December through February, but from March through November, the only way to get up here is either the shuttle buses that I just showed you, or you can take an e-bike to get here. And if you want to, you can come up here and lock your e-bike and do the hike, and there's plenty of e-bike rentals in town if you prefer that. The e-bike is nice because you don't have to deal with the shuttle and the crowds and the lines and all that. Once you get here, you have a 1 mile hike along the river trail, riverfront trail or something, whatever it's called. And then after 1 mile, you get into the Narrows. And once you're in the Narrows, it's about 2 miles to what they call the confluence. And the confluence, a lot of people, that's as far as they go, but you can go for many miles if you want to. The confluence is a beautiful spot, and that's where the Narrows split, and you can take either the right lane or the left lane and continue on, or you can do a little bit of both, whatever. That's the basic information. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, folks, so I'm walking along the Riverwalk hike. You can see the path there behind me. The river's right there. It's really pleasant and pretty. And this is the one that goes about a mile. We're probably a quarter mile in. That's all. So if you don't want to do the Narrows, you certainly could come up here and just do this Riverwalk hike. It's actually pretty nice. Here you can see the water seeping out of the rock. It's a very slow process, I'm told. It'll take 1,000 years for it to get through here, and then the plants can grow on the rock. Here's some more of the plants growing on the walls of the canyon. All right, folks, this is the beginning of the Narrows. You can see people going down to the river and starting to walk their way up. You can see how crowded it is. There's a lot of people. Looks like it's pretty shallow at the beginning. We'll see how it is. It's really cold right now. All right, so here I am, getting in the river with all the other folks, and so far, my feet are dry. I can see why they want you to have this hiking staff. There's current and the rocks are slippery, and it's a little dicey. Well, as you can see, it's kind of a scene here. How are the kids doing?
They're hyping themselves up.
All right.
They said, "This is fun, we're doing it."
There was a little bit of current back there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Right, here's a nice example of the seepage that you see. And the canyon walls goes all the way up and the plants grow. And then if you look way ahead there, you can see the canyon walls are wet there. You can see people in the river, reasonable depth. It's very rocky, but I have to say so far, the efficacy of these waders and shoes is awesome because it's really cold and my feet and legs are so far quite dry. All right, folks, looks like we are about to encounter a deep section here, as you can see by these folks in front of me. And it doesn't look like there's a shallow side and a deep side here. This is definitely the deep spot. One thing is, when it's deeper, you worry less about your balance, because they're just less likely you're going to fall over. I think we got this. See the wet canyon walls up there? These folks here are just entering the deep spot. If you think you're going to be alone, think again. Definitely a little crowded. The water's moving swiftly here. It's kind of hard to see your footing, so you just have to kind of experiment. I did tell the guy that I was going to be taking a lot of pictures, and I asked him if the hiking staff was absolutely necessary, and he just kind of laughed and he's like, oh yeah, you need it. Doing this, I can tell you that it's essential to have that extra support. All right, peeps, looks like we've got another deep section here. With the family going through here. Oh yeah, there's no shallower spot here. Not sure if it's more shallow over there. It looks like you guys are. I don't think it makes any difference. The current is actually pretty strong here. All the reason more you want the hiking staff. The weird sensation is the deeper water squeezes your legs, and it's really a strange sensation. I'd be lying if I said it was erratic, but I'd also be lying if I said it wasn't. All right, we just got through a good water section there and a little break here. It's really hard to see everything unless you look up. This is a really nice section along here. You get out of the water for a little bit, beautiful rocks. It's getting a little later, so we're getting more sun up high. If you look up there, it's pretty nice. I think my GPS has gone really wonky because it says I've gone 4.6 miles and I've probably gone 2.6. So I don't really know exactly where I am, how far up the confluence is. But we've gone quite a ways, so I'm expecting to encounter the confluence in a bit. How far did you guys go?
We just went past this rock here.
Do you know how far the confluence is?
Probably about another half hour.
Half hour?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Confluence? Yeah.
Enjoy the day.
Half hour, 45 minutes, about split off. That's where I made it.
Oh, okay, cool, thank you. He said another half hour, 45 minutes. The folks in red didn't make it, but the kid in aqua turquoise hoodie made it. So that's why I thought my mileage was way off. It's only 2 miles to the confluence, so if it's another half hour or so, I'm probably a mile and a half in, something like that. Here's another look up at the canyon. I almost thought of shooting this in vertical just because everything's so vertical here, but I just like the horizontal format for general movie making. All right, so here's an easy crossing. So you get a little further up the canyon. Looks really nice up ahead that way. It's kind of interesting as the sun comes up higher, it gets a little warmer, and also the light becomes a little better. You can see how red that cliff is. Looks like we're coming up on another deep section. Family photo time. Well, it's kind of deep next to that rock, so we'll skip that. Oh boy. Whoa. Usually next to the wall is the deep part, so doesn't look deep for them though. I'll show you up the wall a little bit. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you guys know how far you're gonna go?
Look at Wall Street.
Is that where the confluence is?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know where that is?
I was told back there 15 minutes ago it was another 30 to 45 minutes. So from here I'd say 15 to 30.
Okay.
Dad, you might need a hold me.
Okay, we'll figure that out. Another 15 to 30 minutes?
Yeah, I guess you don't measure by distance around here. You measure by time. Ooh, that's a swift current there.
Yeah, I don't like that very much. Maybe.
Might be better right here. That's- Wow, this is amazing here. All right, this is definitely an awesome section here. Beautiful wall. Look at these walls. Kind of deep here, above the knees. Looks like it might be good to go inland a little bit here. To this spot right here, behind this rock. Oh, maybe behind this one. There's another gorgeous spot. It's so narrow, it's actually dark in here. It's kind of cool. So it looks like a little bit higher. What a spectacular hike. Oh, I'm getting tired though. I think if I make it to the confluence, that's gonna be a pretty good accomplishment. With a nice view up the canyon. Wow. I wonder if we're getting close. All right, folks, I believe this is the famous Wall Street right here. This is the confluence. Wow. Hey, where did the water go? Oh, it just sneaks around this rock here. There's probably a little hole here. This is a place where I could probably slip. So I'm gonna grab onto the rock like this. Oh, whoa. Not recommended to do with a camera and a pole. But we got it. Yeah, this is just a narrow little thing. Hello. The guy said it gets technical further up, but so far it's pretty easy going. See up there. Well, check out, that's just straight up. I don't know how high that is. Amazing. Oh, this is definitely worth a little side trip because it's just pretty easy going. It's shallow and it's pretty smooth. Why not check it out?
Would you like me to take your picture?
Yes, please. Thank you.
That way or that way?
One of each.
One of each. Sure.
Yeah. I put on super wide so you can stay close to me. Don't go too far. It's really wide.
Ready?
Yeah. Now let's just switch the other way, real quick. Thank you. Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Yeah, I flew in on Friday.
did you fly into Vegas and then drive?
I flew to Vegas, I picked up a rental, and then I drove to Zion.
That's the way to do it. How's it going? Yeah.
Want together or?
No, no.
We're not together.
Yeah.
We're solo thing.
In my dreams. Thank you. Yeah, the guy was saying how the water seeps all the way from the top. And the guy said it can take 1,000 years for the water to come. Did you hear that?
I was on that bus ride this morning
Yeah.
with Ron. Pretty crazy that water.
Yeah, and then the
I
and then the plants can grow out of it like that. That's really cool. This might be where it gets a little tricky. I think it might be getting more crowded. But you would recommend the Angel Landing even though it's, yeah. How's the hike up to the junction where you need a permit? Is that still pretty nice also? Or like if I...
Yes, it's like herding cattle.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The trail all the way up to the beach.
Oh, to the junction all the way?
All the way up.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if I don't get a pass, I should probably go somewhere else.
Yep, you can go all the way up there, and then you can also, if you go to the last once you get up to the top, you can go another 500 feet, I think it's an elevation, and you can look out that way. You don't need a permit.
Oh.
But if you go to the right, that's where Angel's Landing is.
Okay, okay. All right, well, nice meeting you, Mary.
Yeah, you as well.
I'm gonna take it easy. You might catch me on the way down, depending on how far you go.
I don't know if you're going to go too much further.
Yeah, okay. Well, nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Well, everyone, thanks for coming along on this amazing adventure up the Narrows. It's just absolutely gorgeous, as you can see. I'm on my way back down now, and I would highly recommend this hike. That was just so amazing. It's not that difficult. I thought it was going to be really cold. It's not that cold. It's just awesome. So again, I really appreciate you coming along. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget the old thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching.